Looking for a tasty treat for the family tonight? Well, Creamline have called on me to show you how to make this delicious dish. So you can forget your takeaways. This vegetable curry is packed with all the vegetables you'll need to help you achieve your 5 a day. So let's get cooking. So what you'll need for this recipe for 4 people is 10 ml of vegetable oil, 2 onions peeled and roughly chopped, 6 tomatoes quartered, 1 red pepper de-seeded and roughly chopped, 1 green pepper de-seeded and roughly chopped, 2 courgettes trimmed and diced, 2 carrots peeled, trimmed and cut into batons, 12 fine green beans trimmed and cut into batons, 30 grams of tomato paste, 25 grams of plain flour, 1 pint of vegetable stock, 3 teaspoons of medium curry powder or your own blend of herbs and spices, salt and pepper, and a bunch of fresh coriander chopped. So if you can't remember this long list of ingredients, don't worry. If you head over to creamline.co.uk, you'll find this recipe along with many others, where you'll also be able to order all your essential vegetable and dairy products through the Creamline website. So you know all the ingredients we need, so let's get cooking. So what we need first of all is we'll take our thick bottom pan. It needs to be nice and thick so we get lots of heat in there before we start cooking all the ingredients. So we'll get that onto the heat. Just turn that on. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Get it nice and hot. And while that's warming up, we're going to take our vegetable oil and just a little drizzle into there. Okay. That'll just take a few minutes just to warm up. Now, as you can see, while I've got the oil warming up there, I've prepared all my ingredients, as you will do at home too before you start cooking, just to make life easier for ourselves. You don't want to see me slicing and dicing onions, do you? You know, the chance of losing a finger doesn't really work. Okay, so onions. Again, roughly chopped, doesn't have to be fine or super fine, just nicely roughly chopped there, just get them peeled down and trimmed. And once that's warmed up, they'll be going in. We're going to have some lovely fresh peppers in here, red, green, yellow, whichever your preference is. We've got yellow and red here today, but you can put the green ones in too if you like. They'll be going in shortly. Now again, you wouldn't think about putting beans into your curries maybe. We've got some lovely fine green beans here. Now the freshness is just second to none. So again, when you're buying these online through the website, these are the best ones for your green beans. Beautiful green beans there to go in. Right, let's just check our pan. It's starting to warm up nicely, just a little swirl around there. We should be able to go with our onions now. So these are going to go into the pan. Just gently they go. You'll hear them start to sizzle just gently. Again, once we get everything in, we'll turn the heat down a little bit so it's not too fierce and it's not going to burn down the bottom on us there. A little stir as we do. So just softening all these ingredients down now to start off with. Okay, so onions are in. The next things to go in are our peppers. Again, they've all been diced to a similar size to the onions, so they can go in too. Nice little stir. Just every time you put an ingredient in, just stir it around there to coat it with that bit of oil, just so it all stays separated and just doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan there too. Okay, our nice fine green beans, they're ready to go in. If you notice, we've just chopped them all down, so about 1.5 inches maximum in length, so they're not going to be too big to eat when you're putting them onto your plate and so on. Nice little stir down. Lovely vibrant colours going on now. I'll just give you a little sneak preview there. Look at that, really nice colours, full of freshness. So it's nicely coming along. We've got 3 or 4 ingredients in already. Just keep it stirring, just on that nice high heat to start off with. Get it really nice and hot. Next ingredients to go in, we've got our courgettes. So again, just topped and tailed, finely diced or roughly diced, whichever your preference is. Now these courgettes don't take very long to cook. So again, just keep them nice and small and they'll cook at the same rate as all the other ingredients. So these courgettes, these can go now into the pan with the rest of the ingredients too. All really nice and hot. You can hear it sizzling away there. Now we don't want to get too much more colour because we've got plenty of colour already, so it's just letting it all soften down, as you can hear there. Really good flavours going on. The next ones to go in are our carrots. Now the carrots do take a little longer to cook because they're a root vegetable, remember. We've cut them into some batons, so are a similar size to other ingredients, and they're going to go in now as well. So again, just sprinkle them in there. There we are. It's one of them recipes that's really quick and easy. It's only just 1 pan and 1 spatula. You know, it's really that simple, so easy on the washing up too, which is always a good point. Okay, next ingredients to go in. We're going to now add some plain flour and some tomato puree, okay? So it doesn't matter which order, whichever one goes in first is absolutely fine. I'll go with the tomato puree for this one now. So in it goes. Again, a little stir around, really kind of combining all these ingredients together now. And if you can smell this now, it's really starting to take on some lovely aroma. Almost looks like a ratatouille as well. Now that's another recipe in itself, isn't it? Okay, next things to go in, our plain flour. Just a little sprinkling, just to coat the ingredients, because this is what's going to thicken our vegetable curry as well. It goes a little bit quieter, as you can see, because we're taking all the moisture into the flour now and get it nicely coated so there's no floury consistency left at all. And I'll show you that now just so you can see that it's all nicely coated. There's no white flour, as you can see there. So we just leave that now for about half a minute, just while the flour starts to cook all that starch out and the tomato puree kind of loses its kind of floury taste as well. Again, all the time the vegetables are softening down. Okay, next ingredients to go in, or getting towards the final ingredients, we've got some beautiful fresh tomatoes. So again, when you're ordering your veg box, don't forget to get your salad produce as well. Beautiful red fresh tomatoes there. In there you go too. Again, a little stir. Now the tomatoes, as they cook, they help turn into a nice little sauce as well. So in time, they'll break down but give this lovely fresh tomato flavour too. At that point, we'll just turn the heat down a little bit. There we go. And the next thing to go in is our stock. So we need enough stock to really make it into a nice curry flavoured sauce, bringing all the other ingredients together. And for this one, you can use nice fresh spices as well if you've got all the spices in your cupboards and your spice racks as well. Or you can just go with the regular curry powder, which I've got here today as well. So just a little sprinkling of curry powder, in that goes too. Now remember, this is going to cook for about half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour. So in that time, all these flavours will marry together and create a lovely vegetable curry. Okay, in goes the powder. And I can smell it already. Now there's enough here for 4 people, believe it or not, just from the ingredients you've seen there today. So that, served with some lovely rice or a nice flatbread, will really go down very well. Don't forget also, when you get to this point, we've turned the heat down, but we also need to remember to season our curry as well. So a little bit of salt and pepper, or you can leave it till towards the service time, because you do get some more flavour drawn out during the cooking process, but I like to put a little bit in to start off with. As little pepper or salt as you like. And just a final stir. And the last ingredient for now, some lovely fresh chopped coriander, just to go into there. And we'll save a little bit just to serve with it as well. So that's for later. At that point now, it's making a really nice vegetable curry, bound in all the sauce, as you can see. What we're going to do now is we're going to literally turn that down to a nice low heat and leave that with the lid on to cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. In that time, we've just got enough time to make our lovely flatbread. And here are all the ingredients you need to make it. 1 egg, 60 ml of Creamline's locally sourced fabulous milk, 20 grams of butter, 250 grams of plain flour, salt and pepper. And for your minty yoghurt dressing, you'll need a pot of natural yoghurt, half a cucumber, and a bunch of fresh mint and salt and pepper. Right, so let's crack on with our flatbread then. So what we need to do is take ourselves a decent sized bowl. We've got our flour already weighed out and organised ready, as you can see, just for speed for this recipe. So in goes the flour to the bowl. Next thing to go in will be our butter. We've got really lovely creamy butter here to go into the flour. And we're going to literally pop it in. And then we're going to rub it in with our fingers just so it all nicely disperses. So it doesn't take very long, just a minute or two. And again, remember, all these ingredients you can get from the Creamline website, all your basic essentials, your flour, your butter and so on. So there's really no need to go to the supermarket at all. And also, just to mention, when you're buying your ingredients online through the website with Creamline, and quite often with supermarkets, you find that you'll order, for example, maybe plain flour, and you'll get a bag of self-raising flour. Well, with Creamline, you'll get what you order. And likewise goes for the veg boxes as well. If you order a pineapple, you'll get a pineapple. Too many supermarket online shops nowadays would substitute your ingredients for something else which you really didn't want, or maybe even don't like. So another great reason to get to the website and buy online. Right, okay, so from that point there now, we've got the flour and the butter nicely merged in together, as you can see. Doesn't take long at all. The next thing to do is we're going to season this with a little bit of salt and pepper, because remember it is a savoury recipe to go with our curry. So a little bit of salt and pepper into there, as much or as little as you like. You could, if you wanted, to put a little bit of chopped coriander in there as well, just to kind of give it some extra flavour, but we've got the coriander in our curry already. Okay, so just get that nicely mixed in together. That's the salt, pepper, flour and the butter. And then the next thing to go in is going to be our egg. Lovely fresh eggs here, so again, all locally sourced for Creamline for your customers. And did you know that the milk heads straight from the Cheshire Plains and the eggs are locally sourced for you too? So the milk goes in with the egg. Now again, just about 60 mils or thereabouts, and just using a knife or a spoon, we're just going to incorporate the eggs and the milk into the flour until we get a nice dough consistency. So it just takes a little time. So just a little more milk there, just to make sure we get the right consistency, which we're just getting now, as you can see. At that point, just clean off your spoon or your knife or your spatula, get that out of the way there. And then we just take a little dusting of flour, just to get it out of the bowl and formed all together. There we go. And all we have to do now is get ourselves an oil tray, so just a little drop of vegetable oil, just so they don't stick. Okay, so once the oil's on the tray, we can then turn to rolling our flatbread out. So all we need to do is form it into a nice firm dough, as you can see. A little bit of flour on the surface so it doesn't stick on the table. And then it's really how many you want to make, really. If there's 4 or 6 of you, we're working on 4 people for our curry today, so let's work on 4 nice flatbreads. Make sure it doesn't stick on your table, so keep it moving all the time. Now again, you can hammer as thick or as thin as you like, but I think about 5 mil is about quite a nice thickness by the time it gets cooked and served. So we're going to go with something like that there. Then we'll take ourselves a cutter and we'll cut out 4 really nice little round flatbread. Now again, we could do more, but I'm just working on 4 for today. As you can see, I could probably make 6 or 8 if I regrouped all the pastry again, but we're going to go with 4 for today. So the flatbreads can now go into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for around 8 to 12 minutes until golden brown. So we've got our flatbreads in the oven just baking nicely. They'll just be a few more minutes. We've got our curry here just about ready, which just leaves us our last section to do now, which is our cucumber minty yogurt dressing. Really simple to do. We just take half a cucumber, dice it as small as you like, Ray, but remember it is a dressing, not a salad, so just finely diced cucumber there. Into there we need a little bit of salt and pepper, so again just a little sprinkling. Nice and simple. It's a really easy recipe, just 3 or 4 ingredients all thrown together literally in a flash. A little bit of fresh mint, okay, so just finely chop it down there. So we can take our freshly chopped mint, that goes in with the cucumber, salt and pepper. Just bind it all together so it's all nicely flavouring running through. And at that point, we take our pot of very healthy natural yogurt. That goes all in here together. Give it a little stir. And you've got this really fresh, minty, crunchy cucumber yogurt dressing, which we'll serve with our curry and our flatbreads as soon as they come out of the oven. All we need to do is pop it into a little service dish. And by the time we've got this into the fridge, the flatbreads come out of the oven and the curry is finished steaming. We're all ready to serve. Market fresh ingredients delivered to your door at a convenient day to you. Creamline Online, the convenience store to your door.